And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Because all the blessings that we're going to get, which is entailing the kingdom of heaven. Isaiah the 60th chapter, I'm going to start at the 10th verse and read on down. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister to thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So the sons of strangers, that's talking about the actual strangers, the other nations, shall build up thy walls. We're going to have them in slavery. So they're going to be building the kingdom of heaven, because we're not building nothing. We're not lifting a hand to move nothing. It says, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. That's talking about the actual Gentiles. We're going to take all of their substance, and that their kings may be brought.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Verse 13. And the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. So the land of Israel, the land of Jerusalem, is going to be made glorious. It's going to be made glorious once again. The kingdom is going to be built up. We had a taste of that during the time of Solomon's reign, which was for about 40 years. Verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the sole of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord. The word Zion means monument, the monument of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breast of kings, meaning we're going to take all their substance. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy power, the Lord and thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring thee gold, and for iron I will bring thee silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. And I will make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and the power thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, meaning our kingdom is not going to go down. In other words, once we get back in power, we're going to be in power forever. The sun is never going to go down on our kingdom again. The sun is never going to set on our kingdom. We're going to always shine, and we're going to always be in that glory once we get into the kingdom of heaven. There's no more going back into slavery under the other nations. Esau's not going to rise back up and put us in captivity. Ham, Japheth, Ishmael, none of the other nations are going to rise up and take us down ever again. When we get on top this time, we're going to remain on top. Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So no more mourning, no more crying, no more vexation of spirit, no more weeping, no more hopelessness because of the condition that we're in as Israelites right now. Verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous, they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000. This is in the kingdom. So what is this talking about? We're going to have sex. Again, like I said, the 2/3 that are going to pass in this destruction, the 2/3 are going to come back through the 1/3 that make it. The Lord said, 2/3 shall be cut off and die, and the 1/3 will I bring through the fire. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. Rasta Yahweh Shah, Rasta Yahweh, Rasta Yahweh, Rasta Yahweh Shah.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to each other brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful they out there pushing the word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of there. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, and I want to get into this morning, dealing with morning news and prophecy, dealing with biometric, banking and more. It's always a lot going on. And we know one thing, all right, one of the main things on the agenda, dealing with, all right, Esau, Edom, okay, because we have to understand we're living in the end of an empire, okay, and what this devil is trying to do, okay, he's trying to offset, prophecy, and extend his kingdom beyond, okay, the limits set by Yahweh Bashim Shai, okay, as the scriptures go into, the devil has bounds that he cannot pass, all right, and him trying to, all right, roll out this new world order is him trying to go beyond those bounds set by Yahweh Bashim Shai, man, which he's not going to be able to do. Okay, it's going to be epic failure. All right. So we're just watching these things, play out because the two main things to watch, is dealing with how, these prophetic nations, okay, are being involved in this war. All right. And how these devils are manipulating this war, all right, to do a global reset. Okay, because it's all tied together. The MOTB and the war is all tied together. Okay, they're not separate events. It's all one, because one of the main things that these nations are fighting over is who's going to control the system. Okay, who's going to sit in their top position? All right, in this new system, who's going to write the rules for this new system, man? Okay, they're fighting to be the next America in this new system. Okay, there's several reasons, why these nations are in conflict and there's competition. Okay, but one of the main reasons is because of this MOTB system, man. Okay, so the Lord is going to have, all right, everything that Esau, Edom is doing, it's going to implode on itself, man. Okay, and this war is going to go beyond Esau's control. All right now we're in the very beginning stages, Okay, there's a lot of room to escalate, and there's a lot of, room for other nations to get involved, according to the scriptures, man. So we're just following both sides, man. And it all leads, all right, to these devils, all right, being removed from power, and all these heathens going to captivity, man. Okay, so let's read this here, because as we watch these things play out, we got to get ready to go through this tribulation. One thing we can't make light of is that we're getting ready to go through the hardest times ever since the earth was. Okay, we're going to be in the midst of tribulation. We finna lose. Okay, we finna lose as far as these possessions that we have on this side. And that's why in our mind we already got to be disconnected from these things, man. Knowing that no matter what we got on this side, okay, we're gonna have to step away from these things and show our faith, okay, in the times to come. And there's provisions already made. The Lord finna do miracles as well. The Lord finna do a mighty work, all right, for the elect, man. We finna see great judgment, okay, and great punishment, and we're also going to see great miracles as well. If a brother want to post it, I believe that's Sirach 16 and 12 or 11. If a brother want to post it, all right. But let's go here, because we're in the mindset of being circumspect, because there's so much going on. Like I say, you miss a day, you miss a lot. So the Lord got us in the spirit, being circumspect, man. Seeing how this nigga is moving, and just seeing how prophecy is unfolding all together. So this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man. So we're commanded, to walk circumspectly, man, especially in these times when things have intensified, okay, when things are happening more frequent, you see, and this devil, all right, hey, he's moving, all right, with urgency, man, okay. The Lord has this man moving in a very frantic manner, okay, impulsive, man. You see, so any day, man, there's an event that can happen and just shift this thing into another gear. February 28th was one of those days, okay, when the small hats in America struck Iran. It shifted this thing to another gear, okay? So any day now, something else can happen and it can shift it into another gear, man, okay? So it says, because when you get this word circumspect, let's get this word circumspect, all right? And this is the mindset to be in, a very circumspect.
Strong's G 199. Akribos. Akribos.
All right, boast. Okay, it says exactly, accurately, and diligently. Okay, so we should be diligently looking into what's going on accurately as well. You know, cross referencing, certain information come across. Okay, double, triple checking, because there's a lot, disinformation, intentional disinformation, to create this interest. Okay, to make to make people just tap out and not even be concerned about nothing. Okay, so we have to accurately and diligently, go through these things that's happening, man. And this is us on our watch. Some brothers, have more time to do that than others. All right, but everyone, hey, is putting, their labor in for the overall picture of the body. For the overall benefit of the body. So we get the picture, man, because there's all right a lot going on at the same time. Now, when you go, let's go here. It says redeeming the time because the days are evil. We come into some evil times, some bad times, and the Lord has these elites, okay, working a plan to bring order out of chaos. Okay. And with this narrative that they're running with, this energy crisis, all right, this is gonna cause a lot of chaos, man. When food prices go out the chain, when people can't afford, to move around, okay, when industry start, shutting down. Because that's another thing too. These devils within this new world order, man, they plan only a few major corporations, okay, being available, for people's essentials. You see, all these businesses that's not, in, with these elite corporations, man, they plan on intentionally tanking these businesses, man. So prepare for a lot of businesses to go out, because one thing that the C19 did, it destroyed a lot of businesses, man. A lot of businesses never came back from the C19. All right. So with this whole energy crisis, man, you best believe these devils, they want to eradicate the remaining of the middle class. Okay. They want to destroy, small business. Okay. And even some of these major businesses that's not, all right, a part, okay, is not going to be allowed to operate in this new world order, because this devil, he wants to consolidate, okay, this global system. This global system is going to be a lot of consolidation to where he wants to have a few of this and a few of that because it's more easily to control a few major corporations than all these big, than all these small, mid-level corporations, man. You know, so the devil, he's shrinking, okay, operations intentionally because it's easy to control centrally that way, man. Okay, and to do that, he gonna bring some evil times, especially here in America, man. America, the Lord. That's why the Lord put a cruel Lord in America, man. Okay, because they finna go to work on Americans, man. All right, and when they roll that Palantir system out in America, man, they're seek and destroy. Okay, you know, with the mercenaries, with ICE. You know, when they really shut this thing down and start getting busy and go into a full gauge war, okay, with American cities, man, it's gonna be bad, man. Okay, people are gonna be turning. You know, it's gonna be a purge, but hey, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna go pandemonium, man. So we redeem the times by watching what's going on and filtering through the scriptures, was letting us know, okay, where we at, man. You know, all the time that we spent in the world, all right, BS, and now we redeem that time by serving the Lord, man. You know, by being actively, you see, on our watch, man. It says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, man. Okay, and we know the will of the Lord, all right, is to end the empire of Esau Edom, okay, and all the governments of these heathens, man, and establish Yahweh Shai. Okay, so if we know that's the Lord's will, okay, we have, you know, we should be occupied and being in favor and good standards with our power, man, because we know He's finna usher in a righteous kingdom. Okay, see, prophecy is finna void out everything that the devil is trying to do. You know, it gets to a point to where prophecy works against this nigga, man. Okay, and everything that this devil, all right, has planned, has in motion, it's gonna backfire against him, man. Okay, Esau loses. You see, we gotta understand that the will of the Lord is that Esau loses, man. There's no victory for this nigga, man. Okay, and we have to really be locked into that mindset, okay, because the devil, you know, it's going to bring so much hell, all right, and he's going to present, you know, this device as a relief, you know, and that's one of the first videos I want to get into, all right, because uh, just like Esau told, you know, the serpent, you shall not surely die, you know, he was pretty much giving Eve, okay, he was painting a picture of a utopia, okay, of an upgrade from her current status, man. Okay, and that's how this man presents his AI and, you know, his technology, and, you know, the brain interface. You're gonna be able to do this, man. That nigga be lying, man. Okay, if that brain interface could do that, that nigga would have it in him. All that shit that he say the brain interface can do, if it could do that, he will have it in him. Okay, if he could do half that shit, what he say is gonna do, that nigga will have that in him. Okay, here he spent all his time dumbing people down. Okay, but you know, out of nowhere, he's gonna give you technology, you know, to where you can just download and learn every language and learn this and learn that, because he fears people thinking. Okay, so he's gonna give you a technology that's gonna make you superhuman. Okay, well, he spent all this money and resources to dumb you down. Okay, to destroy your health. Well, all of a sudden, with his technology, he's gonna make you superhuman, man. Okay, and that's the narrative that this nigga is getting ready to come with, man. Okay, it says, and be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the spirit, man. This time we gotta be in the spirit, man. We got to be in the spirit of prophecy, man. We got to be in the spirit, okay, of letting this shit go. All right, leave this world behind and have our minds prepared for what the Lord got next for us, man. You know, and the Lord finna do miracles, man. We gotta be in the spirit of believing, all right, that the Lord gonna do miracles, man. That the Lord finna work a work, man. The Lord got provisions already made. Okay, we gotta tap into that spirit. You see, because we're coming down the stretch, and like I say, the Lord is going to allow, all right, things to get bad, man. You know, because we're in the last phase of refining for the elect, man. So we gotta get hot. You know, hey, this last phase of being refined and being purged is gonna be hot. You know, and that's the Lord, hey, removing, you know, any flaw in us, man. because we're going to be perfected through faith, man, through believing. That's what's going to perfect us, man. We're going to have a perfect faith at the return of Yahushua, man. We endure. Okay. So there's one more phase of refinement for the elect, man. As we go through this tribulation. Now, let's go to this. So now this is the beloved elder brother out of London. All right, the beloved elder brother Kwai Kwong, which let me see. He did a video yesterday going into Bangkok. This is a real good video. He goes in on the economics of it. Him and the beloved elder brother Ariala. That's the thing, the economy. I go into it, a little bit, but these brothers, this they think, and they go into the markets and, So yeah, it's a real good watch. It's about an hour and some change, but the whole video is good, and it gives another perspective of what the devils got going on in the background, But I just want to play a portion of it, to go into how these devils, okay. To see how these devils want to spin, okay, this technology as if it's gonna be, okay, this utopia for the masses, man. Okay. So let's go here. Let's read this real quick. This is a Tazawon hopeful elect. All right. Sirach 16 and 11. It says, and if there be one stiff neck among the people, it is a marvel if he escape unpunished. So if there is one stiff neck, it's a marvel if he escape unpunished. Well, what about a whole nation of these niggas, man? Okay, Esau even beginning with Amalek the top. Okay? But there's no one that has a stiffer neck than these niggas, man. Okay? The fact that they're trying to pull this off is showing you how stiff-necked they are. Okay? And the fact that they having all this trouble, certain things ain't going their way. Okay? The AI tapping out. Okay? The data centers is catching hell with the infrastructure. Okay? So here it is, this devil, and this pride. All right? Because you would think, okay, damn, maybe I need to, try something else. Maybe I need to downside. Maybe no, this nigga still full steam ahead because the Lord has this nigga hardened. Okay, just as we seen Pharaoh catching hell, but still what he was hardened to be prideful, man. Okay, Esau was hardened. All right, to go forward, man. No matter what goes wrong, he got to go forward, man. Okay, because the Lord has him hardened, man. So if it's one stiff neck among the people that doesn't go unpunished, man, what about a whole nation doing the biggest rebellion against the Most High the earth has ever seen? Okay, this nigga does not get off with this, man. This nigga finna be punished, man. And this nigga love to jump on stage like he got it figured out. Nigga, you finna be punished, man. Okay, you finna get the worst punishment any heathen has ever got. Okay, and so if there be one stiff neck among the people, it is a marvel if he escape unpunished. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure, man. So the Most High, what we're finna see is the duality of the Heavenly Father's power on display. We're finna see, his power and his capability to judge, okay, on a global scale. And we finna see his ability to save and to have mercy on the global scale, man. You see, the Lord finna put these two capabilities on display for the earth to see, man. How he's mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure, man. Okay. So let's play this real quick.
this kingdom that's coming, right? For years, they kind of like been under different names. I forgot what the name of the project. Me and the elder Ariella, we did a video on it. There's different like I think it was called the Lotus Project. You got different guises where and through the movies, they promote to people this idea that through technology, it's going to create some kind of utopia for the people, create some kind of utopia where you don't have to work and you're going to just have abundance, and you know, everyone's going to be happy all the time, and that's what they're going to sell to the people, their version of the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be a lie because it's not going to be nothing like that. But that's how they're going to sell it to the people. All right. And that's why the scriptures call him the devil. He's a liar. He's a deceiver. All right. He's a trickster. So they're going to bring all this pain and chaos, and they're going to say, well, actually, we got this new world that we've been preparing. And if you join this world, you'll get this, that, and the other. And then so you're going to have a choice to make. Do you believe Esau and his prophecy and his promises, or do you believe in the promises of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? Now, a lot of our people, they're going to choose Esau because that's the God that they see, right? That's the God that they see in the.
And that's what it's going to come down to. You know, do we believe the promises of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in the unseen? Okay. Or do we believe in the promises of Esau that's going to be right in our face, man? Okay. And the Lord has it to where, you know, we have this clarity in the spirit to where we really starting to see this nigga for what he is, man. All right. How overrated this nigga is, man. Okay. How overrated this system is that he been hyping up. You know, we can really see it. Like, this nigga, this is a fraud, man. Okay. And Esau doesn't plan on bringing utopia, because he doesn't bring you utopia now. Okay, here it is. This man has all this ability to create wealth out of nothing. And he doesn't give you utopia now, but he's going to give you utopia in the system where he has more control. Okay. You see, there's a lot of people that's going to walk straight into this, man. Okay. If a brother can post it, Proverbs 22:3, and in Proverbs 22:3. You see? So yeah, this is what it's going to come down to, man. All right. It's the hour of temptation. And everyone's gonna be faced with this option, man. Okay, every Israelite, okay, is gonna be faced with this option, man. Okay, whether we trust in Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, but we're going to trust in what we can see. Oh, that's another one, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 17 and 18 as well, Bible Shai. Let's play this some more.
Flesh. So they're going to choose Esau, whereas we're going to choose the true God, the living power and invisible power, whose word is sure. All right, then that's the difference. So let me play this clip right here, and we're going to get into the band core. I just wanted to touch on this real quick, and hey, peep this. The actual video is 1 minute and 44 seconds long. So this is Jason Oppenheim. So you already know, reveals everyone will be able to afford private chefs, maids, the best healthcare in 10 years due to AI, right? So they're selling people on this idea that we're just around the corner from just everyone, the whole planet. Everyone's just going to be blessed and everything's going to be all right. And all the struggles that you got right now, they'll fade away. Just trust Elon Musk. Yeah, that's what their man are selling. So let's play this clip.
I don't think that the idea of rich, the way that we think of it today, will be the idea that we think in 10 years. I mean, probably everyone within 10 to 15 years will have a Michelin star chef, a maid, a babysitter, a dentist, a physician, and I'm meaning the best physician in the world. So literally,
this is what they're selling to the people, and if you take this chip, this is what they're going to tell you is going to be part of it. This is what's going to come. Just take this chip and we could fix everything. Yo, don't take the microchip. That's what I'm telling you. Don't take nothing from Esau. Esau's a liar.
Someone who's poor today will have the best healthcare on planet Earth.
So what's one of the crises that's happening right now? Healthcare, especially in America. If you're poor, you don't have access to good healthcare. Oh well, you know what? Well, we could chip you, and we could put these other implants in you, and you'll just be healthy. You don't have to worry about cancer. You don't have to. What? This is how they're gonna sell it. Like it won't matter. This all the issues with this world. They're gonna sell that they have the solution. So you're not gonna be poor no more. There's not gonna be no rich and poor. Everybody will be equal. Agenda 2030, this is not how it's gonna work, but this is what they're selling to the people. Right, and people are going to choose this rather than choose the words which are written in the scriptures.
A housekeeper,
15 years.
a babysitter, a driver, and I think
A therapist.
what he means by this is like a humanoid robot that can do anything, or a couple
Yes.
that are not very expensive.
And what did you see Melania Trump?
Yeah, man. So you see these devils talking about you're gonna have a chef, okay, a maid, a babysitter, okay, a dentist, all right, the best physician in the world, and he's boasting in this AI like it's going to be robots. There's going to be a chef, robot chef, a robot maid, robot babysitter, okay, a robot dentist, man. Hell no. Okay, then said the best therapist, man. This is all a fraud, man. Okay, you see, AI couldn't cook better, okay, than the woman that just knows how to cook, or a man that just knows how to cook. And see, this is why we're gonna have actual slaves, man. Nigga, keep your robots, nigga. Okay, you go into captivity. You see, we're not gonna need robots in the kingdom. No, we're gonna have human resources, man. Okay, babysitter. No, the scriptures say, the kings and queens shall be thy nursing fathers. You niggas finna, not you Edomites, but you other nation gonna be our babysitters, man. Our nursing mothers, man. Okay, matter of fact, let's get there real quick, man. We come back to some more precepts, man. Okay, that's why I say we gotta look at Esau. That nigga don't have nothing to offer us, man. Okay, then the nigga said a psychiatrist. Well, nigga, if everybody good, you shouldn't need a psychiatrist, man. A therapist. What you say, a therapist? If everything is all good, you shouldn't need a therapist, man. People need therapy because they're traumatized by what your kingdom does to them, man. What your society does, all right, to the average person. Okay, that's why therapy is so popular now, because this is such a traumatizing society. Okay, somebody need a therapist, man. This Esau, it's end of the day, man. It's just time to get this nigga out of here, man. It's time to get this nigga just got to go. Him and his dumb ass ideas. And you just get tired of hearing this nigga talk. Okay, this is Isaiah 49. All right. This is Isaiah 49:23. It says, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, all right, in full subjection, and lick up the dust of thy feet. Now, this doesn't mean they're going to be, licking the dust of our feet. This is king talk, okay? This is them being in complete subjection. All right. It says, and thou shalt know that I'm the Lord, thy power, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Yeah, we're not gonna be disappointed in what the Lord got for us, man. That ain't what this nigga talking about. Okay, but the simple, they're gonna believe that, man. They really look to this man technology. They really think that Alexa, okay, is the best thing invented. Okay. She can turn on your Pandora for you, Alexa, turn on the PlayStation. Nigga think that's the best thing ever, man. Okay, this is overrated, man. This nigga AI is overrated, man. In the morning, I got another video going into the AI, man, just really showing you it's a fraud, man. It can do things. It has capabilities. Okay, but the way this nigga overhypes it and presents it like this gonna be some technological utopia. Okay, it's a goddamn lie, man. Okay, so let's let's segue to this other video. I'm gonna get some of these precepts y'all brothers got as well. Okay. Nah, man, we're gonna have true service, man. Humans. Okay. That's ain't nothing above the creation of the Most High, man. Okay. So let's go. Yeah, let's go here. But this is really what these devils are gonna bring while they're pushing utopia. These are really all right. What these devils are getting set to do. So let's go. This plays. Oh, your brother got it. Yep. So this is 2 Corinthians 4:17. This is the brother GMS Tazadakda. All right, Yara. And it says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and external weight of glory." Okay. So our, affliction, which is but for a moment, even this our temptation, this gonna be for a moment, man. This is and the Lord already got it set up so where there's an elect that has a victory over this, man. And the Lord is building us up for a victory, man. We gotta believe it. Okay. It says while we look not at the things which are seen, yeah, because people are going to choose what they can see. Esau is going to paint this picture of salvation through this technology, man. That's what's going to be seen. Okay. You're going to see people, probably getting the C-hip, showing how many credits they got when they got theirs and this bonus, and they're back on the scene. Okay. So a lot of people that's going to get enticed, okay, and bend the knee. Okay. Especially from coming from a position of desperation. It said, but the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal, man. So we're gonna have to choose, all right, the thing that is not seen. Okay. We're gonna have to denounce, what we can see. Okay. When the devil makes this thing mandatory, we're gonna have to denounce what we see and have faith in the unseen. Have faith in the salvation promised by Yahweh Shah. Okay, Yahweh Shah returning, man. We're going to have faith in it. We have to have faith in the kingdom that we don't see, but it's promised to be established in the earth. See, we're going to have faith in it. Okay, we're going to have to denounce the seen, okay, and hold on to the unseen, man. All right, let's go here. Well, a lot of people are going to walk right into, okay, the trap. Okay, this new world order trap. You see, and then Esau, he walked into the trap by trying to pull it off. Okay, so here it is. Esau, he's in the trap, trying to trap you. Okay, Proverbs 22:3, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punishment. And to a lot of our people, they're still simple. Okay, they're gonna walk right into their trap, man, and there's a punishment for that. The scriptures, all right, speak about yeah, you see? Yeah, the scriptures speak about when you go here, the punishment for taking their device. Because the punishment for taking their device, man, is nuclear destruction. Okay, listen to Esau, you're gonna get your dumb ass nukes. Okay, you Israelites are still simple and look at this man as as a god. Okay, look at this man like he got it all figured out. Okay, and you take that C-hill, man, you're gonna get nuked. Okay, you're gonna be judged in the presence, okay, of the Lamb and the holy angels, man. Okay, according to Revelation 14. You see? But this is what this devil is really trying to bring is a control system, man. Okay, and if you think you're oppressed now, if you think you don't have you don't have any ability to get wealth now, okay, if you think that life is hell now, okay, well, this system is going to be on a whole nother level, okay, of control, of hell, of oppression. Okay, you're gonna be deprived. You think you're deprived now, you wait till this system come out. Okay. You think you're restricted now. You wait till this system come out. Okay, so let's play this.
If you look at the root of what programmable money is, it's integrating control through transactions of the real asset side of the balance sheet with the financial side of the balance sheet. The money we have now is what's called, what Escape Key calls a two-party lock, buyer and seller, and both have to agree to do a transaction. Programmable money is the three-party lock where there's an intermediary and it's programmed into the currency with all sorts of rules that can change constantly about whether or not that transaction can happen. So even if a buyer or seller want to do a transaction, the third party gets a complex algorithm say as to whether it happens or not, right? And if you look at what they're integrating in, it's basically integrating in, the climate change stuff, which is really control of energy. So what you're doing is you're integrating control of the energy with the control of the money and putting it into this third party lock.
With no accountability at all. Like what you just said, the rules are embedded right into the money. So if you think you have a problem getting a banker online now because maybe they added.
Yeah, and with the AI, he can put rules within the money. So you get your 2,500 credits for the month. Well, there's already rules, okay, for their programmable money. Okay, you can only buy so much of this. Okay, it doesn't work outside this radius. Okay, here it is. He promised you utopia. Well, this is going to be the most restrictive, system, ever, brought about, man. This is going to be the most restrictive system the earth has ever seen. Okay, and then you go into the neurons where he's trying to tap into your thoughts and your mind, control your neurons of your mind. It's just a whole nother level. And see, this nigga is doing a lot of experiment. Esau is presenting this new world order as if it's some type of polished, finished product. Okay, hell no. This is this nigga experiment, man. Okay, and when this nigga get to the point to where he thinks that he's coming around the corner, he's made the MOT mandatory. You got the world doing transactions and CBDCs. Man, the Lord is going to, destroy this, man. He's going to destroy everything. He's going to cause this war, to go haywire, which is going to usher in Yahweh Shai and Esau done, man. Okay? But it's just what this devil wants, this programmable money, because they're not telling you about their part, about the money being programmable, okay? Your life is gonna be rationed to you. You see, you're gonna have to ration, to go outside, to go here, to go there. You ain't all this free movement, and that's why, with this energy crisis, man, he's gonna stop a lot of this moving around. And this is why you see it's beginning with the flights. Okay, which we'll go into that a little bit. But let's play this.
Some debits to your account that really were phantom debits. Then you can get somebody online. You get somebody on the phone call. It may take you a long time, but you can get them on the phone. What you're talking about here with the rules embedded right into the money itself.
You are never going to be able to get anybody.
There's
on the phone.
no avenue of appeal at all.
Right.
None.
Right.
You have no sovereignty whatsoever.
Right. And you have no rights whatsoever.
You're a slave. You get what they give you, and you only get what they give you. You see this cost of living crisis around the world met with cries for, demands for help from the government. Tell me that doesn't lead right into programmable money and who
absolutely
wins.
That's what it's designed to do.
Yep.
It's designed, what you're watching is a withholding of energy, and then the condition is, you plug into our financial infrastructure that has the third party lock integrated into it, and you're on the distributed ledger.
If you bet.
And the third party lock is the elites. Okay, because right now the elites control, the currencies through governments. Okay, but now they want to control the currency directly. Okay, that's why they don't need this old style of government. That's why they're bringing in the technocracy. Okay, because the elites, they're tired of having to deal with, all these moving parts. Okay, in these current governments. Okay, they want to have direct control. Okay, and this programmable money is going to be an extreme form of behavior modification, man. Okay, because you can control money, you control behavior. All right, and this programmable money is social credit score. This is going to be a behavior modification on a whole nother level, man. And how you think Esau wants you to behave, man? Okay, you think, all right, this man wants to turn everything to an Epstein Island, man. He wants to turn the earth to Epstein Island. Okay, that's gonna be the norm. Okay, that's why I'm saying this nigga here, he just got to be stopped, and this is why the Lord is beginning to work against this man now. You know, and making this nigga rush this new world order, because the Lord finna take this nigga out, man. Okay, and he's creating so much dependence on government. People are so dependent on. People were never supposed to be this dependent on government, man. Okay, but people gave up their autonomy for convenience. Okay, and now this man has all the leverage. So when this man, the Lord put the spirit on this man to pull the plug, you know, the grids go out, you know, sabotage, you know, claim a cyber attack or whatever, man. Okay, people are going to lose it. Okay, they're going to begin to destroy each other. Okay, and this nigga's going to just sit back. Okay, and then he's just going to step in with this pseudo salvation, man. Okay, but he's not going to tell you that, nigga, this is digital enslavement. You see, he's going to present as the fixer of all things, man.
Behave yourself.
Right.
You got rewarded.
Right. And then what you're going to discover is life is worse.
Yep. Right. Your problems have only begun.
And so the most important thing you need to take away from Money and Markets this week is where are you going to get your food? Where are you going to get your answer?
Because ain't none of that going to work. You know, because people think that they can prep, okay, and brace for what's to come. Nah, man. Okay, only the elect have a way out. You see, outside of the elect, there is no way out of this, man. Okay, if you're not of the elect of Israel, you're subjugated to what the devil's getting ready to bring. Okay, now when you go here, because they're setting the groundwork for biometrics and banking. Okay, so when you go into it, I said, will there be laws with mandatory biometrics for banking? They say, while there is no single global law making biometric mandatory for all banking, laws and regulations in many regions are increasingly mandating biometric, all right, authentication, all right, for specific high-risk transactions, digital onboarding, okay, and security compliance. As of 2025 to 2026, the shift is moving from voluntarily adoption toward mandatory, regular driven requirements to combat AI powered fraud. Okay, so global trends toward mandatory bank biometrics. As of July 1st, 2020, Vietnam mandated biometric authentication for online banking transactions exceeding a certain amount, requiring facial or iris scans for digital identity verification. The Philippines, all right, the Bangku Central NG, all right, the BSP requires banks to phase out SMS OTPs and implement biometric, okay, or passwordless authentication for high risk transaction by June 2026. Mexico, okay, which Mexico, that the president of Mexico is a small hat, okay, and demon they got down there, okay. Since 2018, the National Banking and Securities Commission has required banks to verify customer identification with biometric fingerprints, all right, for in-branch and app services. So that was in 2018, you know, and I looked at it was something like 8 months ago. I ain't look at it, you know, but it went into Mexico's biometrics. Okay, you got Europe, okay, Australia, all these nations are requiring, beginning India. Okay, so you jump down to the conclusion. It says, in summary, you will likely not be able to avoid biometric authentication if you want to use digital banking services in many countries by 2026, as banks must adopt them for regulatory compliance, man. Okay? So this devil, he's shifting to this new world order. Okay? And as he's, has this narrative of an energy crisis, all right, which is going to cause the chaos, you see, through food and transportation and, inflation. Okay? As he's pushing towards chaos, man. All right, he's finishing because he just needs to get to a point to where he can make it mandatory. It's all about getting his infrastructure to the point to where he can make this thing mandatory. Okay, and go ahead and switch over. Okay, this is what the devil, is on. All right, just switching this thing over to the point to make it mandatory. All right, let's see. You're building up the infrastructure to get to the point to where he can make it mandatory. Okay, now let's see what that's saying. Oh yeah, let's go here real quick.
This is a good transition to talk about what we already see in terms of the economic impacts of this war. Let's put C1 up on the screen. This is from Tracy Alloway of the Odd Lots podcast, fantastic podcast, great reporters. And she's got information here about food inflation. Costs for food companies jumped almost 8% year over year in March. That's versus 4.2% in February. This is basically just from higher fuel costs. We're still waiting for the impact of higher fertilizer, plastics, etc. So what she's saying there is this is just the beginning. This is just when you're considering, okay, gas prices and diesel prices have gone up. That's now being reflected in costs for food companies. And of course, they're not going to just take that. They're going to pass it on to consumers. But what she's saying is that doesn't even deal with these longer term impacts like fertilizer. The higher price of fertilizer is something that farmers are shouldering right now during planting season. That is going to mean that down the road, when those costs also get incorporated into food prices, prices are going to continue to go up.
And like she's saying, this is just the beginning. The effects haven't, really been felt. Because we have to remember every day that the Strait is closed, all right, whether there's no oil going through the Strait, okay, they're at full capacity, all right, that's a day that you can't get back, that oil don't hit the market, well, you can't get that back. That's oil that's gone for the year. You see? You gotta look at it every day that oil is not flowing. Well, you remove, that oil from the global intake, the global output, which is the ability for these nations, to function. You see? So the effects really haven't hit. You see? The effects really haven't hit. We've seen the little gas prices and pretty much people have absorbed those gas prices. Okay, they're still able to, to get by. Okay, but it's gonna come to a point to where things are just gonna keep getting higher and higher and higher to people are finna be priced out. Remember, there's a war on the middle class, man. And there's a war on the American people. Okay. So expect, things to just get worse and worse and worse, man. Things because the food inflation has almost doubled, and then you have the gas. Gas has never risen that fast, that quick. Okay, so this is the beginning, and people don't realize how bad it's going to get. So let's play this.
I don't feel that I even need to really explain this because we all basically lived through all of this through COVID. We saw the way that inflation built and built and built, and that this was not something that just happens when you flip a switch. There are follow-on effects that continue even after the worst parts of the crisis are finished that take a long time to work their way through the system. So what she's saying here is we are now just starting to really see the impacts and that this is just the beginning.
Yeah. I hate, there was a lot of accusations of doomerism in the beginning, but it's because, and I think anybody who's been watching the show for long enough period, we all lived through Russia, Ukraine together. And just because things seem to be fine, they're really not. The entire global economy is closed. That's why we talk about, everybody seems to believe, let's say with COVID, we had the lockdowns that came in March. When did we really start to feel the supply shock? July, maybe August? It took a while, right? Because we had just-in-time delivery. So there was this decent amount of stuff that was on hand. And then with closure and with this with the shipping containers and all of those supply chain problems, we began to see shortages and problems in July and August. But the real-time inflation hit when? When the things started to reopen, demand was high, and the supply, it took, I would say, over a year probably from the lockdown for everything to show up. But because we lived through all of that, plus Russia, Ukraine, we have now seen this story play out multiple times. Like, you are not going to have things end overnight. However, there is a dramatic under appreciation. Gas is still $4 a gallon. Mm-hmm. Gas was $2.90 6 weeks ago. Diesel is like $5.20 something a gallon. Yeah. Like, am I taking crazy pills? Like, when have we ever seen gas go by over $1 in a single month and then stay there with no real end in sight, to the point where the president is, bemoaning his energy secretary for saying maybe gas will have a 3 in front of it next year, sometime from now. Again, just looking at the straight, I could be wrong. I'm not a total energy.
And we have to understand, Donald Trump, this is what Donald Trump was supposed to be, a wrecking ball. He was set up to destroy the American economy. All right, to break down. All right, Trump was here to break down the American economy and destabilize America, man. Okay, the same way they destabilized, over there in Syria and Iraq, to forward their agenda. And that's what these elites use the American military for, is to go destabilize these certain governments so they can implement, their agenda, their interests. Okay, so now we're seeing the same play coming to America, man. All right, so America's going to be destabilized. Okay, so the elites can fully implement their interests in America, man. Okay, because America has to be, weakened dramatically. Okay, to fit within their new world order infrastructure, man. Because the majority of the citizens of the earth, they're already, subjugated to their governments on a whole nother level. And that's why they was able to get so far in China, Russia, India, African nations. They was able to get so far because, these are stricter governments as far as citizens' rights. Okay. When you come to America, man, all right, America is used to being, so wide open, okay? But now Trump came here to destabilize, and that's what he's doing. Every decision that he make only destabilize, all right, America, okay? And it's being done intentionally, man, okay?
I'm not an energy expert or analyst. I read some people who we trust a lot here on the show. All have basically said if the strait remains closed for this X amount period of time, gas will hit $6 a gallon. Gas will hit $5 a gallon. That seems very likely, absent some extreme intervention on behalf of the United States. I also just look to big corporations where this stuff, same thing. It's not going to immediately affect your life, but sometime in the future, you're going to be checking. Then the way that I went to McDonald's recently and paid $4.50 for the medium fry, you're going to be like, wait, what? Whenever you try to check out. Let's go to the next one. Put this on the screen. The United Airlines CEO has now come out and say fares may need to rise by 20% to offset the fuel charge, jet fuel costs. Quote, signaling a significant test of consumer willingness to absorb higher fare as the industry grapples with volatile oil prices. This was on their earnings calls. He said, United is aiming to recover the full increase in fuel costs as quickly as possible and expects to move toward a 100% pass. God, don't you love corporate speak? A 100% pass through as it targets double-digit pre-tax margins next year. What does that mean? So again, corporate speak. Yields need to increase by 15 to 20% whenever it comes to that means what? That means your ticket price is going to go up by 1/5.
Every cost increase for them, they're passing directly to you, and potentially an increase above and beyond that. I mean, that's what we saw the last time there's a huge inflationary spike, is the corporations, I can get away with raising my prices even beyond the cost of the increase in inputs. Of course, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why you have corporate profits as a share of the economy that continue to be at all-time highs, even as costs go up, because they've taken advantage of that dynamic. And of course, they'll do the same thing again.
Totally. And yeah, let's just do like back of the napkin stuff. Most people take some small vacation in the summer statistically. And let's even put aside Europe. You're already upper middle class if you can afford to do that. Let's just say here in the US, you want to go to Disney. Oh, by the way, Disney prices are very high. But let's say you got to get to Disney. So let's say family of 4, it was going to cost you $600 a person. If you're flying from California, well, whatever, Midwest, $500, something like that. Now it's $750 per person. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's a lot of money, right? And so then you have the increased jet fuel cost. Oh, and then you need to do a rental car. Oh, well, the rental car cost has gone up too because of gas and because of increased insurance. And then, the Disney cost has also gone up because they have all this energy input and stuff that they have. I mean, this is craziness. And that's just vacation. That's the easiest thing.
And your budget's already been stretched at home.
Lufthansa has now cut 20,000. So then let's put the next one up here. Lufthansa. Lufthansa has now cut 20,000 flights to save fuel from the Iran war fallout. Quote,
20,000 flights, because they want to stop moving, man. They're bringing this thing to a halt. They're putting the brakes on society. All right. And right now they're easing on the brakes, slowing everything down. They're easing on the brakes. Okay, with all this movement, especially during these summer months when, that's when people move the most, they're putting a halt to it, man. They're intentionally making things unaffordable. Okay, they're intentionally, pushing these shortages. Okay, which give them an excuse, to ration. Okay, because the New World Order system is all about rationing, man. So they want to get people used to getting everything rationed to them. Okay. That's what this whole New World Order system is about, is about the elites rationing, okay, to the rest of the world. All right. So let's go from there. And see this devil, what the Lord is showing that the devil is limited. You see, and with this devil understanding that he has limitation, he's running these limitation, man. This is going to make Esau, Edom, okay, have to hurry up. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. I still got it. Yeah. We went into this other day, but let's go into it again. With this little clip. Okay, and it just shows you that these things are happening, man. When you start seeing these multiple videos saying the same thing. Okay. But the Lord is showing that Esau, he's limited, man, and the resources needed to pull off this New World Order. Okay, well, he's coming up short. Okay, so let's play this.
GPU is useless. NVIDIA's most expensive GPU is useless without this one thing. And right now, America doesn't have enough of it. Half of the AI data centers planned for 2026 delayed or cancelled, not because of chips, because of transformers. Let's actually start to understand what's really going on. But before that, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Now that you've done that, here is the story. Big Tech has committed $650 billion this year to AI infrastructure. Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft. They're buying GPUs at scale, building data centers at scale, but they can't turn them on. Every data center needs power, and power doesn't just show up. it flows through one very critical piece of infrastructure: large power transformers. These convert high voltage electricity into usable power inside data centers. Without them, nothing runs. And here's the mismatch. You can actually order GPUs in months, but transformers actually used to take up to about 2 years. Now they're taking, well, 3 to 5 years. That gap is actually killing the AI build out. Transformer prices have tripled in the last 4 years. What used to cost $500,000, well, now costs over $1 million and still arrives late. Now, here's where it actually gets very interesting. Every transformer runs on a very specific material, grain-oriented electrical steel. This is that the metal's crystals align in one direction. That's what makes transformers efficient at scale. You can't replace it. And in the United States, only one company produces it, which is Cleveland Cliffs. That means one supplier sits at the center of the power grid, the AI boom, the data center expansion, and now layer demand on top of that. AI data centers, EV infrastructure, renewable energy, aging grid replacement, all competing for the same transformers. Demand is, by the way, up by 116% since 2019. Wow. Supply, unfortunately, hasn't caught up. The average transformer in the United States is about, well, 38 years old. The design life of it is 40 years. So now you have old infrastructure breaking down, new infrastructure not getting built, and at the same time, even if you get a transformer, you still need to connect to the grid. That takes 2 to 4 years of approvals, infrastructure upgrades, queue delays. 92% of data center operators say this is their biggest problem. Only about 1/3 of planned AI data center capacity is actually being built right now as we speak. The rest are all stuck in a limbo. Everyone is, well, talking about GPUs, but the real constraint, electricity infrastructure. Because without transformers, AI doesn't scale. And this isn't just AI. Chemical plants, factories, and industrial projects are all now competing with data centers for the same equipment. AI, as we can see, is not alone in this race. But of course, now the race has finally come to an end because here is the front page take. This is not a money problem. You cannot speed up steel processing, transformer manufacturing, grid upgrades for that matter, even if you have $650 billion. Please do let us know. What do you think about this?
Yeah, man. So the devil, he's catching hell. He's having setbacks. Okay, and this is going to cause this nigga to be frustrated. Okay, and it's going to play a part in this nigga coming down with great wrath. Okay, see, the Lord pushing Esau, to just go forward with it, man. Okay, so he's going to have to, because he's going to be able to crash the economy. Okay, cause chaos, create desperation, and make the MOTB mandatory, man. And the Lord is just forcing this nigga to come on with it. Cause the script say he see that he have but a short time, because he can't keep, having these delays and these setbacks, man. He needs to go ahead and switch the system over. Okay. He got to go ahead and switch this system over, man, because he's limited. He's seeing that he's limited, man. People are calling out the AI, because that's one of the biggest hopes of the New World Order is, the AI, being, this super intelligent, forever learning, infinite wisdom. See, he need that narrative alive and well for his New World Order, man. So as that's being called out more and more, he got to come on with it, man. Esau got to come on with it. Okay. But as the scriptures say, and the brother got a Shabbat 144, Job 22, it's like Job 20 and 23, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain upon him while he is eating. Yeah, so in the midst of this nigga trying to pull this off, okay, The Lord is going to rain judgment on Esau, man. You know, Esau, this is a last ditch effort, okay, that we're seeing Esau trying to pull off. Okay, he can't buy his way out of it. Okay, as the scriptures say, what matter of fact, the brother got this here. It's the brother GMS Tazadak Yara'ah 144K, Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. Okay, so he can't buy his way out of it. You know, how many billions he throw? Well, you need actual resources. Okay, and with resources, you're limited, man. Okay, so this devil, he's really running into, the Lord is showing him his limitations, man. And he's showing us that this devil is limited, man. You know, Esau ain't, he doesn't have everything figured out, man. There's a lot of things, but he's able to still go forward with the plan. Okay, well, that don't mean that he got this thing figured out. He's still able to go forward with, certain agendas that he got on the books, man. But there's a lot of things this devil ain't gonna get to pull off, man. Okay, for the Lord cut him short. You see, but the righteousness of the elect, we're gonna be delivered. Okay, and we're gonna be able to achieve everything. Okay, we're gonna really be unlimited, man. You see, so yeah, I'll leave it there. I said, Albert Razazar, man, we tapped into the AI in the morning, just to show you how much of a hoax and a fraud that AI is, man. Okay. So, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah Bahashim, Rakapadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the whole of Shalom.